Well, hello and welcome to week 61 update for Icarus, which is called Weathercasting number 2. I am here solo at the minute. Gao might have a few technical issues or something. I don't know. He is yet to join me anyway. So we will say hello to him as soon as he arrives. Until then, I shall soldier on and start with the week 61 update fixes for week 60's weather systems. And they go on to say, we've made multiple adjustments to how to reduce weather impacts in game, plus a large performance optimization. Well, optimization, we're all for. Very supportive of that. So looking forward to how this is going to play out. In the meantime, let's continue on. Week 61 focuses on correcting issues that arose from our Week 60 update, something our community was vocal about and helped us to act on quickly. Weather events and the system that operates them have been scaled back and improved. We haven't scrapped the changes altogether, allowing us to keep the positive elements and strip out the ugly parts. While we like a good cleanup, it saves on performance and gives us better gameplay. So I'm all for that. The irony isn't lost on us that only hours after releasing this update, our home city of Auckland was hit by the worst storms in history and promptly flooded. Well, I hope everybody's okay. I hope it hasn't done you too much damage. And yes, I can see how that would be extremely ironic. Thankfully, our team is okay. Good news, yay! And this week's update also includes a large performance optimization focusing on ticking, described below. We expect this improvement to be more noticeable on lower-end PCs and large open-world bases. Well, that's good. Have a read and stay dry, team. Well, we hope you're all dry, not swimming down there. And yes, that's a pretty good shot, actually, of a forked lightning bolt. You can see it touching down a couple of places there. So let's carry on. Hey, Michael, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing, bud? Thanks for your support. Appreciate you. Yay, good day, you too. Yep, absolutely. And to you, I'm currently running solo. I think Gao may have some technical issues. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but in the meantime, we will we will carry on as normal, as normal as I can. You know, I'm not a techie person, so I'm kind of hoping he's going to be able to join us before we get to the change log, because I will be skipping that. So here we are. We're up to weather fixes, and the team says, we've spent a week adjusting our new weather systems with all the feedback you've given us. This has been incredibly valuable, and we're grateful for your constructive suggestions and candor. Candor, if you didn't, just in case those didn't know, candor means truth, honesty. Okay, so I have actually noticed the Gao and I talked about it in last night's stream, but the icon is further down, so I will discuss that bit then. Um, Things they've changed. Weather system now generates one event per weather block. That's good because when we were gaming last night, we had I think we had 2 or 3 lightning storms almost back to back. So that was kind of hairy. Weather blocks are now longer, often twice as long or more. Okay. Reduced frequency of weather events to a more reasonable and manageable amount. Yeah, not an awful lot you can do when you're trying to gather resources and you're having to hide from lightning storms all the time, as we did last night. Weather events, excuse me, weather events are now picked again via the weighted list system rather than a rolling queue. Oh, that sounds good. I know what a rolling queue is. They just sort of like line it up and it plays through it's like having a map list. It'll just roll through the list, and then once it gets to the bottom, it'll start at the top again. Um, the weather forecast has been extended to 3 days. Okay, it was hard enough to decipher for a 2-day slot. 3 days, okay, we'll take that. Reduced and rebalanced the severity of weather in various prospects. That sounds good to me. The fact that concrete could take damage is just, that's a bit iffy as far as I'm concerned, but never mind. Here we have the image. The first, oh, you guys can't see my pointer. I'm looking at this is a weather block, is the first green bar there, which equals on average 60 minutes of real time. So each hour, right? So this is an hourly forecast. So we've got 5 hours here. We've got the next 5 hours. Okay. Within a weather block, one 5-minute weather event will occur. That's the small box that's sitting over the left-hand side of the orange circle with the triangle in it, which is the more severe part of the weather. And the next one is the severity of that 5 to 9 minute weather event is reflected by the symbol inside that block. And so there we've got 2 green ones, 2 yellow ones, and an orange. So as with traffic lights, yellow is lighter than orange, but also heavier than green. So the color change tells you the severity. Are you with us, Gow? I can see that you're in Discord. If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Better this way?
Oh, I can hear you. Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome,
Sorry
welcome,
for being
welcome.
late.
No, don't worry about it. Was
Totally
you
my
having
fault.
was you having a technical issue?
Short eye, yes.
Okay, okay. Well, I did say that you might be suffering some technical issues. So I carried on.
Good, good.
So have you we're talking about this chunk of weather fixes here, and we're having a look at the 3-day forecast
Yeah. 3
image
days
there.
instead of 2 day. Per block, 1 weather event. That's the part of stuff.
Yeah. Now they're saying that one block is equal to 60 minutes of real time.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got 5 hours forecast.
5 hours apparently stands for 3 in-game days. So it would be like 3 real hours for a day, in-game day. No. 1.6, 1.7. 100 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, see that something to I can't. My brain doesn't wrap around that. We've been given a 5-hour forecast, and yet it says it's 3 days. So how can you forecast 3 days in 5 hours?
So there's the difference between in-game time and real time.
Yeah.
Each block is 60 minutes of real time, like IRL time. So this entire bar is 300 minutes.
So that's 100 minutes per day.
100 minutes IRL time for one in-game day.
Okay, so it's an hour and three, an hour and
Now
40,
40.
an hour and 40 per game day.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Which
Okay.
also
That's
means
that
that
makes more
we should.
sense.
This also means that we shouldn't at max get on average one weather event per 1 hour 40 minutes. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, well, we've been having weather events way more often than just one every 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I was saying to the peeps just earlier on before you joined us that yesterday we had 3 lightning storms almost back to back with maybe a 5 minute real time space in between.
Yeah, they rebalanced the weather system last week to get a bit more variety and stuff, and they kind of overdid it. And a lot of people were complaining about this. Actually, you saw a lot in Discord as well.
Yeah.
So they decided to like dial it slightly down again.
Yeah. Okay. So you've got one, let's just say for talking sake, 1 1/3 block per game day then.
Yeah,
Okay. Alrighty.
one
Okay.
to
Well, that
third.
it
Yeah.
ish.
So you could still theoretically get 3 storms in one in-game day.
Uh,
If the storm gets in the last part of the first yellow block, and one in the orange, and one at the start of the second yellow block,
well, yeah.
it would still be
Yes.
one in-game day, but
Yeah.
3 storms.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You're just
But
confusing it
overall,
now.
the frequency should be less.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we'll take you through the last sentence here, and then Connie can take us through some optimizations.
Yep.
These changes aim to provide a balance between reverting overwhelming events of the new system whilst still improving the new system with feedback. So features such as the weather forecast and storm severity are kept. Well, yes. I mean, this image above for me, and but getting down to the fact that okay, now we can suss out that one in-game day is 100 minutes real time makes it
Yeah, like
easier to break up mentally the image that you see before you for the 3-day forecast.
at least they explain a bit about this weather bar.
Yeah,
Last week it was here's a weather bar. Good luck.
yeah,
No explanation about it, or
yeah,
hardly none. At
and
least
and
now
and
they explain.
yeah, and we figured out yesterday that it does actually travel from left to right,
Right to left, so it
right to
adds to
left.
the right and it removes to the left
Yeah,
from the left. So yeah. Well, they did up the blocks. Blocks are longer, so less frequent storms, and we have a 3-day forecast now as well. So yeah, less or the other way around, more IRL time between the weather events.
yeah, yeah. It's easier to suss out what's coming next now.
And also, again, not as frequently as
Yeah,
they were common, because it was a tad much.
yeah. And the image below is of somebody in leather armor. Is that leather armor?
Yeah, cloth? It doesn't look like leather. Let's say cloth.
Oh, yeah, cloth. Yeah, cloth armor. And if you look up towards where the sun is, you can see that they've managed to capture 3 planets in the one go. So I like photos like that. Okay.
Well, actually, that isn't it glare?
No,
Is it actually?
you've got one bright sun, and then you've got the bigger planet on top, and you do actually have a little planet below to the bottom right.
No, the one to the right is a cloud.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other one to the top, it might be another moon. It might be some lens glare. That's always that hard to say.
Oh no, that's definitely another moon. That's not lens glare. So
Anyway,
anyway, swiftly
optimizations.
moving on.
Yeah. So we're introducing some new performance optimizations that our team already has been hard at work on, looking at some of the areas we discussed in week 59, or last week, that is.
2 weeks ago.
One word you'll see a lot through these optimizations is tick, or ticking. Ticks are an action game objects perform, typically multiple times per second. Reducing the number of things done by each object. Every tick reduces the strain on the CPU and therefore improves performance. Likewise, reducing the number of objects that tick also means better performance. If an object has, for example, 10 actions per tick, you have 10 ticks a second. Take out one tick from the object, you remove, and so you have, instead of 10 times 10 actions, you only have 9 times 10 actions. So you reduce it by 10%.
Makes
Uh,
sense.
the number of objects, if you have 10 such objects, you go back from 1,000 to, was it 810?
Mhm. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, those are, well, they're going to add up. So fix the loading of certain assets during gameplay that could cause hitches. These were being loaded and used and then released for garbage collection every few seconds. They fixed the loading of it. So the microstutters, I think, every few seconds.
Yeah, okay.
And they're tad annoying, not really game breaking, but yet tad annoying, those microstutters. Good if they fix that.
Yeah, that's good.
Optimize the atmosphere controller to rely more on cached data, so less data to load into memory and remove from memory again.
Mhm.
So all data you need to load into memory comes from disk. Disk is slower than memory, so hey, good,
Mhm.
more caching. Optimized building pieces to cache several commonly accessed data table values.
Okay.
Again, caching. Caching is always good. Weather events now also use the cached building data, reducing the hitches when the system is calculating which building pieces to damage in storms. Good, so it doesn't have to like load it from disk all the time, just use the cache data faster.
Yeah.
Building pieces no longer tick. Any ticking logic that they previously had, such as updating stability, is now controlled by their owning grid and has their calculations spread across multiple frames. When loading prospect with a large amount of building pieces, these operations would previously sync up and cause noticeable hicks multiple times per second. Yes, the more you build, the laggier your open world becomes.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly hope this is at least a partial fix for this.
Yeah, that
Because
would be good.
I've seen some pretty amazing builds, which well, hey, you can watch them, but you can't interact because it's a slideshow
Yeah.
because of the lag. My mountain base as well uh, is pretty laggy, especially during storms, during lightning storms.
Mm-hmm.
So I do hope this is at least partial fixing that.
Yeah, well, that sounds good.
So nativized, that means converting Unreal Engine blueprint code into C++ to improve efficiency. Nativized several building grid background tasks, which are now managed by an owning system that evenly spreads these tasks between all building grids. This evens out performance with a large number of different building grids present in the world. Again, lots of building pieces, lots of lag.
Yep.
I'm happy they're working on this. The next one as well, if you have a lot of electrical wiring and a lot of water pipes, it also causes additional lag. But I optimized this spline system, which is used by electrical and water pipe systems. So again, hopefully, this is reducing lag as well.
Yeah.
It isn't too hard to test though. If I log into my mountain base and I can actually walk around proper, it means they have done a big step in performance increase.
Yeah. Yeah. That's in insta provable.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty.
Optimize deployable objects and benches. They now have a custom ticking system that groups all of the deployables together to reduce CPU overhead. Good. Good.
Thank
So
you.
you only have like overhead on the entire queue instead of overhead on each and every separate bench.
Mm-hmm.
Me
That
likey.
sounds, yeah. Okay.
Removed the tick process from almost all trade components that were present on items in the game. Now, here's where I was like, I'm not entirely sure what they mean. Which trade components are we talking about? Like, is this additional damage on the bow, more radius on pickaxe, or I don't know what they meant with this line, to be honest. And I still don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit open-ended, I would say. Too many variables.
Hey Shazad, welcome, and good to hear that you are playing better today. It does give us hope.
Hi, Shazad. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Thanks for your support. And yes, good to see you playing better today. Well done.
So yeah,
Yes. Okay.
they promised they were gonna work on performance improvements, and I'm glad they're doing so.
Yeah. And I would love to see how this building was built so high above the world.
Cliff Edge.
Well, yeah, but
We've been standing orcs yesterday during when we were running back from the
yeah,
first vein, from the
that's
first deposit.
that's an awfully high ceiling.
When we ran back from the first deposit, there was this very long cliff we went down. When we were still on top of the cliff, and you looked down into the valley, you already saw the fog.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like heights, dude. I don't like, I'm quite happy to run up in a game, but I don't particularly like
So
looking over
you
the
close your
edge.
eyes and you run down the cliffs. That's why you got your sprain and stuff.
Damn it. I just oh, oh God.
Yeah. I'm wondering,
Oh,
is that one tree on fire over there?
no,
Can't really see.
well,
Hmm.
it
Not even
actually
when zoomed in.
it almost actually looks like a tower.
No, I don't know. It looks like might be a tree on fire with some smoke above. Anyway.
Mm.
But yeah, how can you build so high? On top of the very high cliff, and you build up with concrete, you can get up like 17 or so levels up.
Jeez. Okay, fair dues.
So,
Alrighty. Under development, resource spawning. Well, we've spoken about
res-
this many times.
resource respawning, there's a difference, eh? They spawn alright, they don't respawn yet. That's the issue.
Yeah. Yeah, we've spoken about this multiple times to the point where that's what you were doing in your open world. You were specifically not mining resources.
Yeah. This is, by the way, I don't think they did this to reduce the amount of lag. This is more because of a lot of people like, yeah, my open world doesn't respawn resources, so now I am gonna run out of resources. Not realizing how freaking big the map is.
Yeah.
And how freaking much resources is in the map. I mean, sure, you'll have to travel a while in order to find all those resources, but
Yeah,
they
well, I
are
mean,
there.
it's entirely dependent on what you're building as to how many resources you need. I mean, we know how hard it's been to find before we got deep veins. How hard was it for us to find enough gold to do the bloody electronics?
Especially before they changed. We did this one mission where you only had like the northern riverlands. We had to visit literally every single cave to get enough gold for the electronics to make what did we need, the Virginia, I believe.
Yeah,
We ended up with like 3 gold ore left.
yeah, and that was half after having gone into each and every single cave that was possible to visit. We went to. You know, it took us days.
So yeah, but yeah, the resource respawning, this is, like I said, being requested by a lot of people.
Yeah,
Personally, I'm like, you just walk a map grid further, you find another cave.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like there aren't plenty of resources on the planet. And I certainly think that for missions, they shouldn't respawn.
No,
But I
they
do
shouldn't.
think for open world, I think maybe they should respawn
Mm,
because you
yeah,
you can't really build to your heart's desire when you know your resources are limited.
well, it depends. Are you seeing Icarus as a building simulator or a survival game? If it's purely building simulator,
Do
yeah,
it
you
you
want like a
outpost.
gazillion resources right next to the door, right outside the door.
Yeah,
Uh, Icarus is a survival game, so there is this running around and don't die whilst running around part
yeah,
when you get the resources.
yeah. Well,
But
there is that.
true, it is kinda putting a brake on the whole building because you have to run out to get your resources.
Yeah,
Especially concrete, you need tons and tons of silica and iron
yeah.
and
And
coal.
if you want to build something absolutely massive, you kind of have to go with concrete, don't you? And if you know
Uh,
that you can only do so much because your open world only has finite resources, then you're not really going to build big, are you? You're just going
you
to
can
build
you
to
can build
necessity.
really big. I mean, a deep vein already has like 4 or 5k resources in it. So you find yourself a couple of silica deep veins, and you can build a ton of concrete.
Yeah, but you're still in essence using up finite resources because they don't respawn.
True,
So you
true,
you can't leave a drill on it until it respawns itself.
true. But how much of a single resource is there in the map? How much do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean there are
Couple of 100k?
there are an abundance of resources.
Yeah, you'll have to travel.
Yeah, that's part and parcel of the game, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay.
like if everything respawns right outside the door, there is not much fun in gathering the resources no more.
No, no. I mean that's the survival of the game. You've got to travel to go
Yeah,
get certain stuff, and you've got to survive in order to do it.
true. But
So
yeah, a lot of people were concerned about running out of resources, which they
yeah,
won't. And also, uh, people don't want to travel too far for the resources, so they asked for resource respawning. So they are working on this now.
yeah. Okay. So let's get into
Sure.
the paragraphs then. An upcoming feature that some of you have seen in the detailed changelog is our resource respawning options. While this is not releasing this week, we are working on the behind the scenes technology for deployable items that will respawn various resources. Okay, well, that sounds interesting.
Yep. So, are we gonna have to go out and plant trees? Could be
Hmm,
fun.
that would be interesting, yeah. Firstly, we have upgraded and optimized the way we create and render caves. We are also rerunning our entire world generation, which will ultimately add regeneration capability to voxels, trees, and plants.
Yeah. So you no longer have to rely on your crop plots to keep your animals fed.
Yeah, alrighty.
To a certain extent, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And I do hope this will also be true for all these changes for current open worlds.
yeah,
Like I said, the open worlds with the big builds, they could. I mean, this whole resource respawning might improve the performance of open worlds where you have done a lot of mining already, which would be nice.
yeah, yeah. Okay. In the coming weeks, the two new items to be introduced that will allow players to respawn voxels and flora.
Yeah, and I've seen something in the future content about this. I think related to this, but we'll get there.
Okay. This has been a highly requested feature ever since the release of our open world game mode, which we've just discussed. We've put a lot of thought into introducing this feature in a way that adds to the experience without detracting from performance. We can't wait to share it soon.
I'm glad I have performance in their mind when coding this resource respawning.
Yeah, yeah.
Very happy.
Good. I can't wait to try it. Can't wait to test it out now.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. And that takes us to the changelog.
Yep.
So let's start with what they fixed, if you please.
So the first one is Maelstrom. They added respawning to the explosive loot container. I've seen a multitude of people complaining like, "Hey, I placed explosive. I had to log out, log back in. The explosive was gone, and it doesn't respawn in the drop pod or in the pod where you have to take it from." So they had to basically give up the mission. Maelstrom.
Ah, oh,
Maelstrom,
bummer.
by the way,
What an absolute bummer.
Maelstrom is the one which opens up the cave between the southwest Arctic and the northwest desert. You know,
Right.
where you have to place explosives on one side of
And
the
run all the
cave, and
way
then you have to
round
run
and,
all the way around
yeah, and put
through the
explosives on the other
Arctic,
side.
desert, Arctic forest, Arctic, and then desert, all the way back to
Yeah,
put it on the other side in order to unlock this cave. So yeah, I'm glad I fixed this mission, especially because it's an unlock mission, a shortcut unlock mission.
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, good. They improved the shadow settings validations for FLOD. They fixed the FT blueprint assets to make sure their shadow settings match. Disable shadows in AC assets as it's too harsh. Unified settings on lots of FTs back to default. Okay, thank you.
Good to know, thank you.
Avalanche mission increased the size of travel location for proceeding through pass step. Updated the highlight text for placement location of the laser. Avalanche. No, it's not a Styx, it's an Olympus mission, I think.
Okay.
Let's quickly have a look. Avalanche. Ah, yeah, that's where you have to drill through the ice in order to get from the northern forests to the central Arctic.
Oh, okay.
And this is the mission I was talking about before, where we had to literally visit every single cave available in that mission in order to get enough gold to build the biofuel generator to power that laser.
Yeah.
Again, this was before they changed around the blueprint requirements there. So long time ago. Increase the size of the travel location for proceeding through the pass step. Oh yeah, so then you blow up the ice wall, and then it says boom, and then a couple of mammoths come through which you have to kill. And then you have to travel to a very specific location on the map. I remember when we were doing that mission, it was kind of hard to find that exact location. It was a very small area you had to travel to.
Yeah.
So
You had to
they
be pretty
opened it.
spot on.
They increased it. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, because you pretty much had to be on top of it before it would allow you to do
Yeah.
the next bit.
So yeah, I'm glad they increased it and makes it just a bit easier. Because it was a very small area you had to go to. Yeah. Right, the Forsaken mission. Something I have seen in Discord people complain about as well. So for this mission, you have to recover a couple of pieces and you have to put them back into a drop pod, specific places in the drop pod. But the gyroscope one, so they fixed the damaged gyroscope tagging to ensure this goes into the ship's gyroscope slot. People could put it in one of the other slots and then it basically disappeared, and then you had to abandon the mission because you couldn't get it again.
Yeah.
So they removed additional inventory slots from the pod, preventing items from being placed in inaccessible slots. Hey Froggy, welcome.
Hey, Froggy, how are you doing, gal? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you.
So yeah, they basically monkey-proofed this mission a bit.
Good. That helps.
Yep. First pass at optimizing weather audio system. Create a weather audio subsystem to manage weather controller events centrally and distribute updates to weather audio components much more efficiently. Okay, so good.
Thank you.
Fix the flashlight and the biofuel lamp being extinguished when the player is submerged. Hey, take a flashlight, submerge it in the water, and it will go out. Unless you
Yeah.
have a special flashlight.
Take a
The same for the
biofuel lamp.
biofuel lamp.
Yeah, unless it's waterproofed. Nah.
And then if it's waterproof, still the flame will run out of oxygen and the lamp will get extinguished anyway. But yeah, apparently Icarus has some nice features for their water. It contains oxygen, so the biofuel lamp keeps on burning, and it doesn't short circuit anything, so flashlights will keep burning. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Well, it is going to be a tad easier, I have to say. Uh, but then again, how hard is it once you get out of the water? Press L and your light is back on again.
Yeah, it just means that your screen doesn't go pitch black as soon as you hit the water.
Yep. Yeah, for me it was never really an issue. Like I said, just press L and it lights up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Then again, why would you even do the flashlight? It's a very directional light beam. Very annoying. You can't see anything to the side.
Yeah. And the biofuel lamp makes you seasick.
Is this the tier 2 or the tier 3 one?
biofuel lamp, I think, is tier 3 because you need glass.
Yeah, but didn't you need a glass for the tier 2 one as well? So yes, it is tier 2 and you only get glass at tier 3, but still.
Yeah.
Carbon paste is a tier 2 item, you can only use it in tier 3. Oh no, the tier 2 one is called the lantern. Yeah, the biofuel lamp is then indeed a tier 3, which is also quite directional, not as much as a flashlight, but it is quite directional, so yeah. I never use them.
No.
I rather have the lantern. It has slightly less light, but at least it's omnidirectional.
Yeah. And if you actually want to see where you're going, you're actually better off with a rag torch or a wood torch
Well, the
because they give you
lantern
just as
is...
much light as the lantern.
Lantern gives more light actually.
Wow.
Plus, it lasts longer. The biofuel in the lantern lasts longer than a torch.
Well, yeah, but
Anyway, let's see. Next one. Resurgence mission, also a Olympus mission. Updated the last quest step to require returning to the dropship rather than the original ship location. And now with the whole dropship recall grenade thingies.
yeah,
Also updated other quest steps capitalization. Good. I mean, my OCD gets ticked when capitalization isn't proper.
yeah.
But that's more of a me issue. Fixed several issues which were causing 3 full sounds to behave incorrectly for clients on dedicated servers. Also fixed the Cypress tree landing sound sometimes not playing the correct servers for clients. So it falls in the water and it gives the sound of it falling on a rock or something, I reckon. Not really game breaking issues, although not really game breaking, it's just sound effects. Still, at least now it's done proper. Now it's correct. So that's good.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree with you more, Froggy. Froggy said OCD's a bitch.
Yeah, sometimes I know. Let's see, added a few more cases. Sorry, the one above. Update Foxhole finally hit audio behavior to work with Foxhole reinitialization changes.
Hey, Mike. Good to
Hey Mike,
see you.
welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, you live. And you're live. Well, we are live and you're
Welcome
alive in the
back.
live chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I wonder what this change actually entails, you know. If you're mining and you don't hear that final hit audio sound, you're gonna look for like the invisible pixels
Yeah.
to hit it. And
Yeah.
so I wonder what this change exactly entails. Will we still get the final hit audio? Because if we don't, then I'll be looking for the last invisible pixels for a long time.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
again, OCD, I want to have in mind proper.
Yeah. Especially when you know what you're listening for.
Yeah,
Maybe they've made
I,
it louder.
I don't know. To work with the Foxhole reinitialization changes. I don't know. Maybe hold on. Is it that the reinitialization change got rid of the final hit audio and now they put it back in? There's
Could
also a
be.
possibility. I
Could
don't know.
be.
Yeah, for example, when I do my crafts, I see a mistake a mile down. I have to open it and redo it. Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I'm I'm not quite that bad. I was doing some beadwork earlier today and I did have to take out 1.5 rows because I'd made a mistake. But yeah, not so bad. At least you see it. At least it's you don't spot it after it's finished.
And then you spot it after it's finished, and then you're like, yeah, no, it's not properly done. I have to take it partially out again and redo it proper.
And I'll tell you something, the only person that will see that will be you.
I wouldn't say that. I kind of spot those things quite often as well, which is very annoying. You're like, something is not correct. And then you keep looking at it until you find out what is not correct. Because there's a discrepancy in the pattern.
Yeah.
I see, hey, there is a discrepancy. And then I can't rest until I find out what the discrepancy is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Clean mining, indeed, Michael. I like the clean mining, so I know the voxel is finished. I don't want to leave parts of voxels behind. This is when I look at other streamers sometimes and I see them mine voxels only partially. I'm like, come on, please get rid of the rest as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like that. Or maybe it's, I don't know about you, but I found very often with boulders and the big stones that you mine for stone that
Mhm.
you don't get that final hit audio behavior because it says, oh, but you've got 12 pieces sitting underneath the floor that I'm not going to allow you to get to. So you
So
don't get the
you hover
final
over the
hit.
ground.
So
You
you,
hover over the ground, and quite often you'll still see the mining icon. Then you hit, and hey, there's some more stone.
yeah,
And at
how
some
long,
point you will get.
yeah, but how long? I mean, I've done that for like an hour and still never got the fucking the final hit sound coming on, and I'm like, do you know what, sod you, I can't be arsed looking for it anymore.
I know it's a tad annoying.
Oh wow.
I lose way too much time trying to find those last bits and pieces.
Yeah, especially when you're mining for ores.
Michael too, welcome by the way, asks, so we're going to have to build some tier 4 devices for ore deposits to respawn in caves. Say a thumper that also causes giant cave worms to spawn also. Uh, Is it a tier 4? I don't exactly recall. I skimmed over it and I did see something about thumpers indeed. We'll get to it when we get there. Not sure
No,
it's
that's a
is it
nice
tier
Dune
4? I don't know.
reference. That's a nice
Uh,
Dune reference, that.
yeah, June. Also, Subnautica below zero had thumpers, but those were to make sure those ice worms did not get to you. But if this thumper, if you have to put it down and it will attract wildlife, I'm fine with it. It kind of combines the respawning of resources with the whole survival aspect.
Yeah.
It's not just put it down, wait a minute, and there's your resources for free without any dangers or anything.
Yeah,
Hey, if it attracts animals and we have to kill it, there's your survival aspect again.
yeah,
Me likey.
you have to fight for your resources.
I think that's indeed a very nice way to balance it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Froggy asks, is that respawn for open world? For open world as well, Froggy. Open worlds and missions.
Yeah.
So yeah, good.
Yeah. And Froggy, please don't worry that we're not mentioning about your having. We haven't mentioned that. Yeah, you had to open 12 roses in Peyote Stitch, and you're cursing the whole time. Yeah, Peyote Stitch, a bit of a bitch. I don't like it. I don't like Peyote Stitch, but depends on what I'm making. And then she says one itsy bitty bean color was wrong. Yeah,
Uh, I
I've
would
done
spot
that
that.
too.
I would so spot it. And I
Oh,
would, but I would like return it because like, hey, it's wrong.
yeah, but I know where you're coming from that. So yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Okay, I did a few more cases for the shield to delete itself on the off chance that the shield is not being deleted.
The visual bug.
Yeah.
Yeah. They already got rid of the most of that fizzle bug, but apparently there were still some cases on the off chance, so not very many, that it still stayed inside.
Yeah. Okay.
And yes, it is annoying because you had to log out and log back in order to get rid of it. So yeah, I'm glad they fixed that.
Alrighty.
Tweaked storm prediction timings to reduce the frequency of back-to-back storms.
We were
Yeah,
talking about that last night.
yep. And earlier when I joined in,
Mm-hmm.
just after I joined in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Back-to-back
let's
storms are not
see.
much fun.
No, not really. I mean, for Maelstrom, I believe it is this one with the severe weather. Hey, it's part of the course. Part of the
Yeah.
course. It's part of the mission. So yeah, hey, do expect this. Yeah, extreme and frequent weather.
Yeah.
For those missions, I'm fine with it. But indeed, if you're playing a normal between quotes missions, or if you're playing an easy mission, or so you have to back-to-back storms, it gets annoying at some point. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be more of a hindrance than a help. Okay.
Added additional initial storm steps and applied to specific missions. Like I said, I reckon Maelstrom still will have frequent storms, which is good.
Okay.
Double the likelihood of cosmetic storms appearing, like the very light one. This is mainly for tier 0 or easy difficulties, to have a significantly increased likelihood of cosmetic storms. An easy mission, and you are 15 minutes into the mission and you get a flash storm from the severity which damages stone. Yeah, that ain't gonna be nice.
Yeah.
You're playing a starter mission for a reason. You play it on easy for a reason. So yeah, more of the storms appearing will be cosmetic storms.
Yeah.
Fix multiple asynchronous load warnings. Good. Fix loading of certain assets during gameplay that could cause hitches. This was talked about above as well.
Mm-hmm.
Did they fix the lag issues in the open worlds, Froggy? There are changes here in this patch notes which indeed will also affect the open world. Hopefully also existing open worlds. I'm actually thinking of, for the gameplay, going to my mountain base open world, because that one was laggy as heck. So we can actually check whether or not the performance has improved. And Michael Matu, by the way, Echo, asks how the lag is doing. I reckon it's still in 2 pieces, but kinda.
Yeah. It's doing okay. It's doing okay.
Although by now it should have started growing back together again.
Well, I'll
Skippy hop hop hop.
it's certainly been an achy day. So yeah, and get the good with the bad. Had had an okay-ish day with it yesterday. Have not quite so okay day with it today.
Oh, well, it makes you appreciate the better days more.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Um,
Been there, done that, broke my leg, walked with the crutches and everything. So yeah, I kind of know what you're going through. Yeah.
yeah, it can be definitely not fun, you know. But I'm okay. Thanks for very much for asking. I'm okay, and I'm doing the update. So the leg's elevated right now. So I'm literally lounging about.
Right. Optimize deployable objects and benches. Deployables now have a custom ticking system that groups all of the deployables execution together to reduce CPU overhead. Again, as talked about above.
Mm-hmm.
Optimized atmosphere controller to rely more on cache data. More forms improvements as talked about below above.
Mm-hmm.
Optimized building pieces to cache several commonly accessed data table values. Same.
Repetition of above.
Building pieces no longer tick anything logic that they previously had, such as updating stability, are now controlled by their own grid and are processed across multiple frames. When loading
That's
prospects with large amounts of building pieces, this, by the way, Froggy does point towards existing missions and or OWs. I hope also OWs.
mm-hmm.
When loading prospects with large amounts of building pieces, these operations would previously sync up and cause notable hitches multiple times per second.
Again.
Again, as
Rep-
talked about above.
yep. And the next one is just a repeat again of exactly word for word what was said above.
Remove tick, we have talked about above. The optimized
Yep.
supply system, talked about above.
Uh-huh.
Weather events now use cache building data, talked about above.
Yep.
Multiple other small optimizations. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Swap the flash storm and the storm weather events tiers. Why was flash storm less severe than storm? I don't recall yesterday. Actually, I would have to rewatch the stream to see how quickly the exposure
Un-
bar went up during a storm or during a flash storm.
unless they were placed in the wrong tier to start with, in which case, if it was programmed for a tier 3 storm, it got a tier 4 flash storm,
Yeah,
and vice
maybe. I
versa.
don't know. We had a fair amount of flash storms,
Yeah.
even back to back. But then again, this was before they toned down the weather system. So yeah. Reduce tier 4 storm building damage during chaos events. Still damages the same types of buildings though, but for less damage. Okay. During
People
chaos events. Okay.
people struggling to keep up with fixing it.
Oh yeah. I've seen people complain about this in Discord, like, hey, before I have a fairly large build. Before, okay, storm hits, when it's over, I just quickly go around, repair everything, and then go on with my day-to-day work. But
Yeah.
now with the current system, I keep on running around, repairing everything. I had a lot of food stockpiled, so I was able to keep up for quite some time, but now I'm running out of food. I don't have time to go out to get more food because I'm constantly repairing my base.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can see how that would get annoying.
Yeah. People were not too pleased with the new weather system. The frequency of the storms
Yeah.
and the severity. A range check and curve check when using set time scale cheats. But this is an internal dev only and editor only, so nothing.
Not for us.
Not for us, no. Here's a generic one. Updated weather generation based on adjusted design and feedback. Reduced frequency of weather events back to a more reasonable amount.
Okay.
Weather is now picked again via a weighted list. So, the tier 7 storms have the less weight, so they should be picked less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weather now generates one event per weather block. The forecast has been extended to 3 in-game days. The blocks are double in length. So you have 5 blocks, each taking 1 hour in real time. 1 event per hour real time. Except for missions like Maelstrom, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Froggy, you did. Weather. The H comes after the T, not after the W. Weather changes? Yeah. Yeah. even after broken bone is healed, you'll still feel it. Well, usually it's the not so much the broken bone, is more the scarring, which you will feel just before or around weather changes, or at least that's my experience. Broken bones I
Well,
don't feel.
if
The
that's the
scarring.
if that's the case, it's gonna hurt like a bitch when I'm working because the weather changes every 5 fucking minutes up there.
Meh. Hey, at least they didn't have to operate or do anything on your leg, so there's no scarring there.
Well, yeah, there is that, but only if I manage to stay safe.
I
So
mean, my knee still hurts around weather changes, but that's because I had to open it up a couple of times due to my broken leg.
yeah,
So yeah, hey, at least I can still walk, so there's that.
that's always a plus.
Yep. Let's see, removed unused functions and variables after weather forecasting refactor and added more logging. Remove unused function variables, make the weather system lighter, faster to load. Added more logging for debugging purposes, sure. Fixed new modifiers moving across the screen, blocking reticule at 6 modifiers. Is this the modifiers bottom left, like the warm and cozy, the wet, overheated, freezing, chilly, those things?
Yeah,
Blocking reticule at 6, and they're now moving across the screen. So you only have 6 visible, but they move from right to left in a rolling fashion. Interesting. Well, it definitely would fix the issue where you have like half the screen taken up by those modifiers.
yeah, for sure.
I mean, food buffs. If you have talent for the 4th stomach slot and you have the armor piece for the 5th stomach slot, 5 of those blocks will then, or 5 of those modifiers will already be taken up by food alone.
Yep. Then you've got warm and cozy, wet or dry,
Yep.
hot or cold,
Storm exposure, broken leg,
poison,
yeah, all those kind of things.
deep
You could
wound, soft
really
wound.
collect, yeah, you could really collect a whole lot of them.
Oh yeah.
Would be fun to see how much you can get in one go though. You have to wait between on the border between Arctic and desert, and wait till there's a storm going on in both, like a heat wave and a blizzard. You can
Yeah.
get like hypothermia, hyperthermia, heat stroke, frostbite, all at the same time.
Dehydration, lack of food,
Oh
no
yeah,
oxygen.
could be fun.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, fix a crash caused by components being removed from the deployables before they have unregistered with the deployable manager. Then you're very impatient.
Yeah.
So one
Damn,
way to
that's
fix a
quick.
crash is be more patient. Another way is fix it in the code.
Yeah.
And they opted for the second part. Good.
Good for them. Good.
Tweak storm frequency, adding in longer periods of quiet and more varied durations on weather forecasts. Yeah, talked about this whole weather thing already.
Yep.
Fix potential issue with error 65 reconnection and added additional logging around fail states. This is mainly related to dedicated server, I reckon, because the cases of error 65 which I've seen, and there are quite a few, were all related to dedicated server. Let's see, reduce the default logging level of log modifier state to reduce spam. More for them than for us.
Yep.
Reduce the severity of many early game missions in Olympus and increased some mid game missions that were using the easiest forecast. So yeah, you get eased into more severe weather if you go through the mission tree. Kind of
Yeah.
makes sense. You don't want heavy storms in the early missions. And mid-game missions, you don't really need to have only cosmetic storms anymore. You should be equipped to handle more severe storms.
Yeah. I like this next one.
Tweaked the Abyss storm timings to help provide winners of opportunity. Yep. Yeah, run out, find the abysmal stuff. What's it called?
Abysmal oxide?
Oxide, yeah, abysmal oxide.
Yeah.
Styx mission, of course. Where did you get this stuff from again? The abysmal oxide.
You get it by killing you got it
Abyssal
by
oxide is deep vein. No, the one with killing the animals is that's another mission. This is partially condensed stuff. You kill animals,
yeah.
you harvest
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
corpses. Yeah.
Yep.
Storms are cool as long as a big rock to hide in, says Mike. Depends on the type of storm. If it's not too severe, you just keep on going.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah. Okay, modify state containers within mount interface and player inventory now have a subtle pulsing animation when modifiers are added, instead of playing the normal animated transition. Modify state containers within the mount interface and the player inventory. Not entirely sure what they mean with this one.
No, me neither.
Yeah. And I have to admit, I looked over this one. I didn't consciously read this one when I was going through the patch notes.
Okay.
Anyway, move to a system that loads and saves all weather events at a forecast block level. And weather forecast will reset for existing saves. Also nice. So you don't have to restart your mission in order to get the new weather forecast system.
Okay.
Fixed a bug where a mission-specific out-of-bounds mask would override the map-based out-of-bounds mask. This would cause issues where player dropships could land out of playable areas on certain Olympus missions. They've talked about this bug for I think the last two patch notes already.
Yeah.
You know, ever since they got rid of the fixed drop locations and went to the dynamic drop locations in order to cater for more than 8 players. Missions where the drop locations are near the map bounds, as in you don't have the entire map, and you get out of bounds. If the drop locations are close to the border or close to those bounds, players could end up landing outside the bounds.
Yeah.
And they either have to straight away run back up, or if they're close to the map bounds, scramble for the map. Usually not even leaving you time to grab your stuff from your dropship. And then if you don't have no dropship grenades, then you're like, yeah, now I'm gonna go get my stuff. People ended up losing equipment because they landed out of bounds, died, couldn't get back in proper, couldn't get to the dropships to fly back up and take their equipment with, so they had to abandon the mission, and by doing so, losing their equipment.
Yeah, that sucks. That's really bad.
Yep. So they once again continued working on fixing that issue, which is good.
Yeah.
Fixed several crash bugs caused by optimizations to buildings and deployables. Oh, we made it better. It now doesn't decrease your performance, it just crashes the game.
Well,
Well, you won't be playing with bad performance, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm glad they
yeah.
fix crashes caused by those optimizations. Because
Yeah.
I'd rather play a tad laggy than not play at all.
Yeah.
Added an extra null check when displaying debug data about loading a bad data table row, as this could cause a crash if it was in a really bad state.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it
Thank you.
does allow them to get more error data in. Because now it doesn't crash straight away. At least they can get some debug data out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
There's the
Any information is
final
better than
tidy up.
none, I
Yep,
suppose.
definitely. So the final tidy up for the weather forecasting, good. Fixing extractors and rails not ticking and extracting resources while not ticking, that's fine. So it doesn't cause any performance. But not extracting resources, that's not fine. So I'm
No.
glad I fixed that.
Yeah.
This one ties into the one like 5 or 6 rows above. Fix an issue where the weather forecast would reset the pattern index if the game was saved and loaded at the exact start time of a weather block.
Okay.
I think ties in with the one weather forecast will reset for existing saves.
All
No, it
right.
doesn't. Oh, no. Existing saves is the generic. This is more specific at this time. Oh,
Okay.
well, the fix is good.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Fix the cropplot glasshouse buffs being multiplied every time they're checked.
Dang, I wish I'd known about that one. I'd have been making crop plots all over the place.
You can still do it, but it's fixed now.
Yeah.
Fixing cropplot glasshouse percentage increase not being presented on clients correctly. We have seen that before.
Yeah.
Well, I could see the correct percentage of the glasshouse effect, and Karan, you couldn't, because I was the host.
Yeah. Okay.
Reduce the tier of the initial rough landing forecast. So if you just land and there is a storm going on, you don't land in a tier 7 storm.
Okay. Yeah, that
You'll
sounds
start
good.
out with some cosmetics. Yeah, it
Yeah.
does give you some time to prepare.
Yeah. Okay.
Reduce the duration of the initial middle ground and mini ramp forecasts. This will result in slightly quicker storms for those prospects. Middle
Okay.
ground, mini ramp for prospects. Okay, not sure what I mean, but okay, sure.
If it's better, thanks.
I think it's mainly better for inexperienced players, but hey,
Yeah.
you also have to think about those guys.
Yeah. And finally,
Temporarily remove the building stability queue optimization as it causes stability to behave erratically. So we have had it where when you load it back into a mission, stability wasn't loaded properly for the building pieces, and like the roof fell down because it rendered in and it calculated stability before the walls underneath it
had rendered. Yeah.
rendered in and did the stability calculation. I haven't had that in a long time, luckily.
Uh,
So
yeah. Have
maybe
it.
it's
Yeah.
related to that. I don't know.
Alrighty.
Anyway,
That takes us to future content.
yep.
Okay. So 3 new caves for initial testing. Nice.
And let's see, is there anything interesting in? Yeah, there is interesting in here, but
Yeah, there is.
we are getting a red grass asset. Something different than the green and yellow grass. Definitely, it will look more alien. Adding an LC grass B set of red grass assets that are more sparse than the grass A variants.
Okay.
So yeah, it will look and feel a bit more alien. And since Prometheus is said to be like the transition between terraformed and non-terraformed, I can understand. Good.
Okay. Added skeletal mesh for the exotic tree device, as well as a starting animation and a looped harvesting animation.
Yeah,
That
we were
sounds
talking about this
interesting.
exotic tree thingy last week. So apparently you can indeed like harvest it, but not like cut it down and cut it up. But there will be some device which you, I don't know, place on the tree, like you do with an exotic deposit, a vein, or with a deep mining vein, and it will
Yeah,
start collecting the resource. So the starting animation and the looped harvesting animation. So some special wood.
sounds good.
That's what she said.
Okay.
Right, it was kind of, I kind of set that one up for you.
Yeah, you did, and I'm glad I walked right into it because
Yep,
currently I can't walk anywhere else.
exactly.
Oh, there you go. Added placeholder thumper item. Previously mined voxels now support reinitialization to original unmined state.
Yep. There it will be a bit more about the thumper later on. There was mention of thumping in previous patch notes. We always thought it was going to be an animal. Now I'm not so sure about
Yeah,
it
like
anymore.
I was looking for a large rabbit.
Yeah. So 2 bullet points above. There will be the swap quad mount, which we have talked about in earlier patch notes, and zebra mount. I'm not sure zebra mount has been mentioned before.
I'm sorry, how many above?
2. 2 bullet points above. Adding correct creature in IA table for the swamp quad mount and the zebra mount.
Oh,
Swamp
okay.
quad mount has been mentioned before in earlier patch notes. I'm not sure zebra mount was mentioned before as well.
No.
So that would make a third mount then next to Buffalo and Moa. We will get the zebras as well. Hey Jason.
Hey, Jason,
Yeah,
welcome, welcome.
thumper indeed would be something that thumps the ground to pull up resources and hopefully attract animals.
Yeah, but hopefully not the giant sandworms.
We'll see. We will see.
Mm.
Sandworms are desert based anyway, so I don't think it will be desert worms, not the big ones. But it might be the big cave worms, which I believe the mission where you have to go through the cave towards the ring lake.
Yeah,
Remember, there are those giant cave worms came out of the ground.
yeah. Well,
Maybe it'll attract some of those.
look at the baby cave worms that we get in like every single cave. They do kind of look like smaller versions of the sandworm and Dune,
Uh,
except they glow.
well, the sandworm in Dune, at least the last movie, had way more teeth and was way, way, way bigger.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's
Okay.
see. Adding needler water immersion movement sounds. Okay, so they were gonna be submerged. That would could point towards either fish or amphibian.
Yeah.
Apparently, crocs in the war aren't enough, and piranhas. We're also gonna get needlers. Okay.
Great.
Will there also be a possibility to build a boat?
Good question. Yes.
Because yeah, it looks like the water is getting a tad more dangerous.
Oh yeah. No more. No more
Uh,
swimming for me.
eh, we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. Here's a new type of tree, the dragon tree. 5 bullet points below. Added 3 up actually. Added first pass of the dragon tree variant 1. As well as shot and burn versions and the split log meshes as well. Yeah, so new tree, dragon tree.
Cool.
What? They took the flying trees from the desert and renamed them dragon tree?
Sounds about right.
I don't know. He's making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, at least now we know where they went.
Yep, they all went to Prometheus and they became dragon trees.
Sounds about right to me.
Yep. Here they added actor prefab and actor prefab assist classes to set up the new prefab system for replacing cave templates for the resource region, I reckon.
Yeah.
Some more. Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
All the cave templates, converted all cave templates as it's to prefabs, yeah. Replace cave templates on every outpost and Olympus Styx levels. Again, I hope also current.
Yeah.
Leveling out landscape under lava rivers, lake on the P2 area and cave. So this is Prometheus, right? We have lava rivers and lake. Will we get like underground stuff?
That would be good.
I'm starting to
Like
get
we
a
get
bit of
underwater,
Subnautica feeling again.
we get underwater caves and stuff now, so like why
Yeah, but
not?
we're talking about entire landscape here.
Hmm.
Yeah. Again, I'm getting a tad Subnautica vibe again.
Yeah.
The green river, which is like underground and deeper the lava river and stuff. But
Yeah. Okay.
the mega tree is also gonna be a prefab apparently.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. In Korea,
Prometheus
we
Mission
knew this
2.
already.
Cave worms do not continue to spawn, and adding a quest step to clear them out.
Okay, so in the second Prometheus mission, Prometheus, we already know part of what we need to do. Take out cave worms. And
Yeah.
at least those will be cave worms which do not respawn, otherwise you'll have to repeat this quest step over and over again.
Yeah.
Good. They also fixed dialogue ordering on the quests and interaction quest step. Yeah, they
Good.
worked on this mission.
Good. No, here's a new animal. Added new land
Lava.
shark creature with first passive behavior set.
Yep, indeed. Land
Mm.
shark. Big mouth, big teeth, but running around on 4 legs. Okay. Well, at least it ain't no spider, so you should be fine. I'll take out the spiders, you take out the land sharks.
Depending on the difficulty of the land sharks, done.
Yeah, hey, at least I haven't seen anything about them spitting out webs to slow you down, so.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Next thing you see is a couple of spiders riding on a land shark chasing you.
Yeah, and we'll be standing there going, "That's all we fucking need."
Yep. Let's see, increase thumper albedo textures to 4K as the device is huge and needs to increase textile density. Albedo is a resource that is not in Olympus nor in Styx. Has been mentioned quite a lot in future content. Now, I'm not sure whether or not it was always related to Prometheus or just general future content. But if this thumper will be made of albedo in all biomes, in all maps, it would mean that we will get this new building material albedo to Styx and Prometheus, together with the albedo building pieces then as well, I reckon. But it would mean they would have to add those resources to the maps. Since both maps are basically like hand created, I'm not sure. So it might also be that you will have a albedo variant of the Thumper in Prometheus.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Okie dokie.
This device is huge, it says.
Oh,
Ah,
adding lava hunter bite attack. Movement audio and event and anim notify.
yeah. 2 lines above the add new land shark, it was already mentioned in adding in initial lava hunter assets. So this does look like a new animal as well. Bite attack movement audio and event and animation notify.
Cool.
Adding lava hunter out of lava movement audio. Is this the lava spitting one? There has been mentioning of lava spitting in earlier patch notes.
Okay.
Since this one has an out of lava movement audio, is it when it's outside of the lava, or is it a lava spitter when it's out of lava?
Maybe it's
It's a
just the
movement audio, so it might be outside of the lava.
maybe it's the movement from inside to out of the
Ah,
lava.
okay. Oh well.
Ooh,
Again, we'll have to
interesting. Adding
wait.
lava hunter death animation notify and lay egg audio and notify.
Yep,
Renewable resource.
yep. We can make omelets.
Nice. Adding lava hunter general move sounds and event and heavy slam event. So we know what one of the attacks is going to be now.
Oh yeah. And then area of effect, like the mammoth.
Maybe.
Ah. Joshua tree. We will get a Joshua tree line above. Don't think that one has been mentioned before.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah. Again, mention of the landscape under lava rivers or lake. Is it like the bottom of the lava river? Bottom of the lava lake? Maybe.
Okay.
Just some thoughts. It is various scaling mechanisms to Thumper spawn events. Thumper spawning is now scaled by the amount of resources that will be regenerated. Land sharks will now spawn at high Thumper event difficulties. Yay! So yeah, it will spawn in enemies. Me likey.
Oh,
We'll have to see how much though.
could you imagine completely emptying open world of all its resources and then setting a thumper?
No, I can't imagine that. It will take way too long to clean out an open world of all resources, and long before you get to that point, you won't be able to play your open world anymore because you'll run like 0.000351 frames per second, give or take.
Oh man.
So yeah. But yeah, it will say Thumper spawning is scaled by the amount of. Okay, so the more resources will respawn by that Thumper, the more enemies will spawn in.
Mm-hmm.
Will we be able to see how much resources will be respawning, or can we set this so we at least have an idea of the amount of enemies spawning? I kind of hope. And we definitely have then to check how much animals are respawning. I mean, is it geyser amounts of enemies? Because then it might become a bit tough. But then again, put some wooden fortifications around your Thumper. That will help a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely want to test out the land sharks in as well. So, yeah. I want to kill land sharks. But now they say land sharks will now spawn at high thumper event difficulties. Will this mean we get this new animal, the land shark, in all maps? Because that's not so hard to code.
Yeah.
Will it be biome specific? I do hope region specific, because if you just start out playing Icarus for the first time, you're in headlong into a land shark, you might lose
Yeah.
your head.
Yeah. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, and then you'll have to run around like a headless chicken. That ain't good either. So yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Carl!
We kinda need someone to
Come res us.
revive us, Ted. Immediately, urgently now, please.
Yeah. Yeah. We need your help yesterday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else in there that's interesting?
See, Swamp Biome will have reed flowers and yeast. Next three preview undoubled. Adding Lava Hunter unique whoosh and unique stabber attack events and sounds and animation notifies. So the heavy slam, there's a stabber. Julio.
Okay.
Stabber event can now change the resource type of regenerated voxels, but only to resource types that were already supported at that location. Okay, so you can't spawn titanium in the location of a previous oxide node, for example. And those ones along the cliffs, the cliff foods, which is like oxide, sulfur, or silica, whilst in the cave is the metals.
Yeah.
You
So
can't swap those around as a thumper.
yeah.
Kind of
So
makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And unfortunately, they made the thumper recipe dev only for now.
Yeah.
For now. I wonder how they look like, the land sharks, is Froggy. Me too, Froggy. Me too.
Yeah, I just
But
imagine
they were
I just imagine a great white shark walking about on his pectoral fins. You know what I mean? Like
well.
a guppy fish.
They did say they were gonna do the resource respawning in the next week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In the coming weeks. 2 new items are to be introduced to allow players to respawn foxes and flora. So yeah, in the coming weeks. So hopefully quick, but then again, never is ever quick enough.
Yeah, it's never fast enough for our liking, is it?
Exactly. Yeah, one of the two events will be the thumper. Nothing on the other. So the thumper is for minerals. Nothing for the for the flora though.
Yet.
Yes, but see. The flora one. Nothing yet on the flora one. Some kind of I don't know, tree spreader ish.
Yeah, maybe. Possible.
Again, we'll have to wait
Alrighty.
and see.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, today's biggest thing was the fact that they put out fixes to fix last week's weather forecasting
Oh yeah.
mess.
Yeah, especially the frequency of the weather events.
Yeah.
I'm very glad they did that. Yeah.
Yeah. I am grateful that they actually did this. They gave extra explanation as to what this icon meant and how to read it and how
Ah,
long it lasts for, and you've got more information available to you on that now, which is
oh,
good.
definitely, definitely.
So
It gives us a
kudos
bit
to the
more
team.
information on what it actually entails. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, any information is more information, and more
uh,
information helps us understand better. So kudos to the team for
uh,
helping us do that.
help us understand and thus make use of it.
Yes, exactly. Because if we don't know how we're supposed to use it, we can't, we can use it however we want. We're not necessarily going to get it right,
Exactly.
you know. I mean, to a hammer, everything's a nail.
Yep. Be it metal, be it flesh, everything is a nail.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to use the right tools for the right job. And you can only do that if you know how to use the right tools for the right job.
Exactly.
So, and that, peeps, takes us to the end of another week's update. That was kind of cool. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Um,
but totally agree.
yeah, it's good to know that they're making fixes to things that
Oh yeah.
that that make the game so much more challenging. And for me, part of that challenge part of the game is what helps make the game. I mean, I don't play games because they're easy.
No.
If I want to
It's too
play it,
easy. It's like boring.
yeah. I mean, if I want to play an easy game, I'll play my jigsaw thing for a while.
Minesweeper.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, play something that doesn't require any brain power.
Yeah,
Um,
then I'm like, okay, I'm playing this game on the one screen, I'm playing another game on the other screen, and I'm actually looking for some nice YouTube videos to watch on a third screen because I'm bored.
yeah, yeah, exactly,
That
exactly.
ain't good.
So I like the challenge part of the game. I really do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, okay. So I'd like to say thank you very much to Froggy, Jason, Mike, Michael Matu, and Michael Stevenson, and
And then don't forget
Shazad.
exactly.
Exactly, the newcomer to the scene. Welcome, welcome. It's been very good to have you. I appreciate each and every one of you and the support that you bring to our small channel. It's not as much fun without you. So we will be back in, I'm going to say 20 minutes, 2100 hours. Is that okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay, that'll give me time to hobble through to the, hop along through the toilet and get myself another drink, and possibly I might even actually have time to roll myself a cigarette as well. So,
Sure.
so we will see you at the top of the hour, and until then, it's good night from me,
And good night from her.
and we will see you at the top of the hour for the subsequent gameplay. Until then, good night.